I think there are 3 M's that we need to get right. We need to make sure that our motives are clear, our method works to deliver our message. Now, very often what's focused upon in the media is the method, and the message doesn't get across. So at this point, I'm going to seize the opportunity to do Just Stop Oil's job for them, which is to get the message across. What Just Stop Oil want is a just transition away from fossil fuels to renewable energy. Now, that message very often doesn't get across because the right-wing media is obsessed with their methodology.
Well, sometimes it's because actually if people are inconvenienced and they get stuck on the motorway for hours on end because somebody's glued themselves to a road, that's not what the media's saying. That's people reacting to what's really disruptive.
Yeah, it's interesting though, because what happens in that situation where you have a radical front, if you like, is that people see that and they say, oh, these wretched Just Stop Oil people, they're a problem, aren't they? But they are right. I mean, things are, getting really pretty critical when it comes to climate change. But I'll tell you what I'll do instead. I'll support Greenpeace and Friends of the Earth. And the Social Change Lab have looked at this and noticed that there is an upsurge in support for those less radical organisations who are dealing with climate breakdown and biodiversity loss. So what I think we've got to accept is that within the climate protest movement, we need a portfolio of techniques. There were people who were signing petitions. There were people who come on peaceful demonstrations like the one that we were engaged with yesterday in Bath, which was actually more performance art than protest, but you do need that radical flank as well.
Luke, what do you think when you see the radical flank or the idea that Just Stop Oil are going to stop people going on holiday this summer?
I'm all for free speech and civilised demonstrations, but I think that, ordinary people want to be able to drive a car and fly on holiday. And I think that the hysterical doomsayers who have been for decades, Al Gore and so forth, predicting the end of the world, this existential crisis, are shooting themselves in the foot. Because ordinary people actually do not want and will not vote, I believe, to be poorer and colder. And the fact of the matter is that it's easy for the establishment, many of whom have got a vested interest in the whole, climate campaign, to think that, they'll just have to put up with cold homes and not flying away on holiday and not being able to drive their cars.
Okay.
What about the ordinary people of Dubai last week? What about the ordinary people of the Global South that has just suffered the hottest year ever, where their crops have failed? There have been extensive wildfires. What about
Where's
the
the
ordinary
evidence that
people
any
there?
of that is connected to carbon
Luke,
emissions?
it doesn't
Where's
come
the
from
evidence?
Toby Young's Daily Septic, which is basically put together by a bunch of professionals with close affiliations to the fossil fuel industry. It comes from actually something called science.